Heart Foundation has clocked up 25 years with its tick of approval symbol. It's on more than 2,000 food and drink labels, but it's under attack from an angry army of people. Chef Pete Evans has joined thousands of Australians. They're signing a petition and calling for a consumer boycott. Now, Jessie Reimers launched the online petition and she joins us now from Brisbane. Jessie, a very good morning to you. I always pick the heart tick symbol thing.
Yeah, I thought that was good, guys.
Yeah, what's the problem with it?
So the main problem is that they only have a few recommendations or guidelines that they use to tick foods with. So they look at saturated fat and salt and a few other things like fibre and energy intake. But sugar is not a part of the guidelines when something gets a tick. So things like Milo cereal, which have 27% refined sugar, are allowed to get the tick of approval. And they do say that it's about picking a healthier choice, but I would argue that something like rolled oats is a much healthier choice than Milo cereal. And also the latest research is looking at saturated fats and finding that actually replacing those fats with things like margarine and seed oils and vegetable oils like canola oil and sunflower oil is actually worse for heart health and really quite inflammatory and kind of contributing to heart disease as well as other chronic degenerative diseases. So,
yeah, Jessie, it is definitely a problem. I think when people, are shopping there in the supermarket, you're trying to look for what is the healthiest option for your family. Some people, though, may be concerned. People say, like Pete Evans, Sarah Wilson, they're not nutritionists. They're sort of people who have a particular diet that they're trying to convince people to take on board. Whereas, say, the health, that tick from the Health Foundation, it has been around for a very long time.
It has been, but the new research is really showing something vastly different to the old research. And people like Sarah Wilson and Pete Evans have got on board, but also we've got doctors and qualified dietitians and even cardiovascular surgeons globally supporting this petition, because the current research is really showing that saturated fat and cholesterol are not massive indicators for heart disease anymore. Obviously, we want to eat them in balance and not eat like a kilo tub of butter a week, say. But the research is coming out is really, really strongly showing an indication between added sugar consumption and heart disease, as well as those inflammatory oils such as margarine and canola oil and a lot of the genetically modified, highly processed, man-made oils. Very strong link with inflammation, so it is really concerning. And a lot of health professionals did write to the Heart Foundation previous to me starting the petition, and we got no response, and they have refused to acknowledge the current science. So I know they do a lot of great work, and I really want to support them to do fantastic things like, getting people more active, which they do a great job at, but they really need to look at not only the tick program, but the nutrition advice they give on their website, because it is very damaging to the health of Australia.
Jessie, I'm sure that the tick system isn't perfect, but and I'm sure that the Heart Foundation would be reviewing the science and changing what it gives the tick to accordingly. My concern is that it's not a perfect system, but it's a good system, and it's trying to achieve a positive outcome, and that by calling for a boycott against it, don't you run the risk of having people just not trust that at all and possibly end up making worse food choices because you've built this distrust in a symbol that, for the most part, I would guess, is actually quite helpful in helping people make healthy choices?
Yeah, I would strongly disagree that it's helpful, especially considering like two of the main ingredients. So say, for example, Praise mayonnaise, it's actually got more sugar in it than Coca-Cola. And again, they're really disregarding the current research and science. So I would strongly disagree that it's a positive symbol. And I think it's really just about getting back to basics. Like, I'm not an extremist in any way. It's kind of about picking foods that your great-grandparents would have recognised with a bit of leeway for treats now and then.
Do you have a nutritional background, Jessie?
I haven't finished my nutrition degree, but I do have somewhat of a degree in nutrition and have done a lot of research and science. And again, we have nutritionists and dietitians supporting the petition.
Yeah, I understand that the Heart Foundation tick symbol is actually under review at the moment. Look, thank you for bringing it up. We really appreciate chatting to you about this. Something to think about for sure. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for having me.